Welcome to Fun Facts Online. Today, we're going beyond the scoreboard and the rulebook to explore an unseen drama that unfolds in every competition. It's a narrative written in subtle gestures and split-second decisions, a powerful force called sportsmanship. This isn't just about playing nice. It's about the intricate psychology of human interaction under immense pressure, the unwritten code that defines the true integrity of sport. At its core, sportsmanship is an ethos, a commitment to fairness, integrity, and a fundamental respect for opponents, officials, and the game itself. It's winning with grace and losing with dignity. These lessons forge character traits like perseverance, self-control, and humility that are transferable to all aspects of life. But in the face of a win-at-all-costs mentality, driven by internal desires, coaching pressure, or financial rewards, the path of good sportsmanship becomes a difficult one. So what psychologically separates a good sport from someone who will bend or break the rules to win? The blueprint is a complex interplay of our moral compass, our learned behaviors, and our ability to control our emotions in the heat of the moment. First, let's talk about our moral compass. Psychologists, like Lawrence Kohlberg, propose that our moral reasoning evolves through stages. At the pre-conventional level, an athlete might cheat if they think they can get away with it, purely driven by self-interest. At the conventional level, they'll follow the rules to conform to the expectations of their coach and team. But true sportsmanship often emerges at the post-conventional stage, where an individual is guided by their own deep ethical principles of fairness, even if it means sacrificing a competitive advantage. Research shows a direct link. Athletes with lower levels of moral reasoning are statistically more likely to cheat or intentionally injure an opponent. Next is the power of social learning. Albert Bandura's theory suggests we learn by observing others. Young athletes are sponges, soaking up the behavior of their role models, coaches, parents, and professional athletes. When a child sees a coach respectfully question a referee, they learn that's acceptable. When they see a parent screaming at an official or a star player faking an injury, they internalize that behavior as well. This is called vicarious reinforcement. When coaches and parents praise acts of sportsmanship, like helping an opponent up, they send a powerful message to the entire team about what is truly valued beyond the final score. Then there's the challenge of taming the inner beast, emotional regulation. The cauldron of competition stirs a potent mix of elation, frustration, and anger. The ability to manage these emotions is a cornerstone of good sportsmanship. Athletes who can remain composed are less likely to lash out. This isn't about suppressing feelings, but about responding thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath before reacting, or focusing on what you can control. For young athletes especially, an inability to regulate emotions is a primary driver of poor sportsmanship, from verbal altercations to physical aggression. Finally, consider the cognitive processes at play. Split-second decisions require incredible focus. An athlete's ability to filter out distractions, like a bad call or a taunt from an opponent, can prevent a negative reaction. Memory recalls past experiences and the unwritten rules of the game, guiding behavior. Ultimately, the decision to act with sportsmanship is a cognitive one, weighing the benefit of an unsportsmanlike act against the ethical principles of fair play. These principles bring us to one of the most fascinating aspects of sports, the unwritten rules. Every sport has an informal code of conduct passed down through generations that governs the spirit of the game. Violating them won't get you a penalty from the referee, but it can earn you a tarnished reputation. In baseball, a sport steeped in tradition, you don't bunt to break up a no-hitter in the late innings. It's a rare achievement, and trying to end it with a cheap hit is considered bush league. Similarly, you don't steal bases or swing on a 3-0 count when your team is already winning by a large margin. It's seen as rubbing salt in the wound. In the fast-paced world of basketball, The unwritten rules often center on the end of a game. If a team has a comfortable lead and the shot clock is off, they're expected to simply dribble out the clock, not run up the score with another basket. Helping an opponent up after they fall is also a common courtesy, a small gesture of mutual respect. Soccer, the global game, has a beautiful unwritten rule regarding injuries. If a player appears seriously hurt, the team with the ball will often voluntarily kick it out of bounds to stop play. After the injured player receives attention, the opposing team is expected to throw the ball back to them, returning possession. It's a global understanding that a player's well-being trumps the immediate flow of the game. Hockey, a notoriously physical sport, is paradoxically governed by a strict code of respect. You don't shoot the puck at the net after the whistle blows. It's a major sign of disrespect to the goaltender. And while fighting for position in front of the net is key, intentionally running over the goalie is a major violation. The code also includes answering the bell. If you deliver a cheap shot, you are expected to be willing to fight an opponent who challenges you, a form of self-policing on the ice. Even in individual sports like tennis, the code is strong. In matches without officials, players call their own lines. The unwritten rule is to be honest and give your opponent the benefit of the doubt. If your shot hits the net cord and trickles over for a lucky winner, it's customary to raise a hand in apology, acknowledging the role fortune played. And in cricket, there's the concept of walking. If a batsman knows they've hit the ball and it's been caught, they are expected to leave the field of play, or walk, even if the umpire didn't call them out. It's a profound display of personal integrity. But this brings us to a gray area, the fine line between sportsmanship and gamesmanship. While sportsmanship is about upholding the spirit of the game, gamesmanship is about exploiting the rules to gain an advantage. It's been called the art of winning games without actually cheating. Tactics include breaking an opponent's rhythm, like a tennis player taking the maximum time between points, or a basketball coach calling a last-second timeout to ice a free throw shooter. It can involve psychological manipulation like trash talking, or exploiting the rules, like a soccer player feigning an injury to waste time. A classic example of deception is the flop in basketball or soccer, where a player exaggerates contact to trick the referee into calling a foul. The ethical debate here is complex. Some see it as clever strategy, while others see it as a violation of the spirit of fair play. The line is often subjective, but it generally comes down to intent. Are you being clever, or are you being deceitful? The history of sport is filled with moments that show both sides of this coin. We have iconic moments of grace, like at the 1936 Berlin Olympics, when German long jumper Luz Long gave advice to his American rival Jesse Owens, helping him qualify and eventually win gold. Or the 1969 Ryder Cup, when golfer Jack Nicklaus conceded a short but crucial putt to his opponent, resulting in the first tie in the event's history, because winning that way felt wrong. On the flip side, we have cautionary tales that leave a stain on the game. Think of Diego Maradona's infamous Hand of God goal in the 1986 World Cup, where he punched the ball into the net. Or Zinedine Zidane, one of the greatest soccer players of all time, ending his career in the 2006 World Cup final with a red card for headbutting an opponent. These moments of poor sportsmanship create a tarnished reputation that can last far longer than the memory of a victory. In today's world of hyper-commercialized sports and a relentless focus on winning, these unwritten rules and the psychology behind them are more important than ever. They are the guardians of the game's integrity, the silent arbiters of its moral compass. By understanding the psychological forces that shape our behavior in competition, and by consciously nurturing the values of respect and fair play in the next generation, we can ensure that the true spirit of the game continues to shine. Because in the end, the final score may fade from memory, but how we play the game defines our character for a lifetime.